Hello and welcome to the Rum Revival. My name's Arminder and today Derek from the Make and Drink YouTube channel is going to join me and we're going to drink some 50-year-old rum. Yeah, these two rums right here. Now, let's be upfront here. These are not actually rums that were aged 50 years in casks, even though they seem fairly dark. These are lightly aged, handful of years, caramel colored dark Jamaican rums. But why I said they're 50-year-old rums is because these are bottles from the 1970s. These were rums that were bottled and released out in retail in the 1970s, and they've never been cracked open, so I don't know. They might have exchanged hands a couple times from one retail shelf to another, from one consumer to another, to one estate to another. I don't know what the deal is, but I had the opportunity to buy these on the secondary market, and I decided to spend my money, frankly, probably maybe a little foolishly, because I don't think spending what I spent, which I'll be honest with you, were roughly for both of them were $300 each. I don't think these rums are going to be worth it, but we're going to crack them open, we're going to taste them, we're going to try them to see how they taste. I can't imagine any kind of world that they're actually going to be worth the money I spent on them, but I think I was just very curious to see what rums that were produced in the 1970s tasted like. The reality is, depending on how these were stored and handled over the course of those decades, the rum could be affected by various conditions, lighting conditions, whether or not any oxygen was able to get in through the seals could affect the rum. So it's not a true sense of what rums, these rums from the 1970s tasted like, because they have probably altered to some degree. But I was just curious, and frankly, I love the way these labels look. And I guess I am, I don't know, frivolous with my money, foolish with my money, I don't know, but I really felt like I needed to own these, and here we are. So the game plan here is that we're gonna try these rums neat, just to kind of see what these rums from the 70s taste like. Then we're gonna compare them to modern day equivalents to kind of compare and contrast to see if there are any differences. And then we're gonna try them in a cocktail, specifically a Planter's Punch, because I love Planter's Punches, and these are dark Jamaican rums, and I feel like that's a thing you do with dark Jamaican rums. So what are the rums that we're gonna be talking about? Well, we have Myers Rum, which is a brand that you probably are familiar with, that you either know and love or hate or are indifferent to, but this is a version from the 70s. Now, chances are the recipe has probably changed a couple or a number of times between the 70s to now. Different availability of components, they may have changed some of the distilleries that they source their rums from, who knows, but I imagine it's a somewhat to maybe even altogether different rum blend, but we'll find out, at least in terms of how it tastes. And then we have Appleton Dark Deluxe, which is a Appleton product. It's no longer produced, I think at least for 20 years, maybe longer. I don't know, don't quote me on that, but this is a 43% ABV dark Jamaican rum, where the Myers is 40. Now, there isn't a whole lot of detail on this rum, but there was at the same time a Appleton Dark without the Deluxe. And I think the only difference might have been the 3% ABV, because the Dark Deluxe, or the dark Appleton Dark was 40 and the Dark Deluxe is 43. I don't think there was any other difference. Don't quote me on that, but yeah. And this is not a bottle you see a whole lot of. You see the Appleton Dark kind of on secondary a lot, but not this a lot. So very curious, and here we are. All right, so I'm joined by Derek here from the Make and Drink YouTube channel. Thanks so much for coming, Derek.
Thank you for having me.
Now, what do you think about the fact that I spent roughly about $300 on each one of these?
I mean, it's commitment. It's commitment to the bit.
Do you think I'll make my money back in this video from
I promise you won't.
Yeah, probably not.
I promise you won't.
Yeah.
When I look at those older sort of auction sites or whatever, you see these bottles that like you haven't really heard of, which might be interesting, but the fact that we have like two iconic brands makes it more worth. Like, this is one of the coolest bottles of all time.
Yeah.
Often copied and imitated.
And literally the bottle. You're not talking about necessarily the rum. You're talking about the bottle. Or
well, I think the rum is one of the most iconic rums of all time. If you go back and you look at the early 1900s, the Planter's Punch craze is really because of this rum. It's obviously the Planter's Punch exists outside of Myers' rum, but Fred Myers and family made that drink popular in the 1900s.
Right, and part of why I like some of the older bottlings is because they actually do say Planter's Punch brand on the label, because the modern one doesn't. I don't think so, as far as I know.
I don't think so.
Label, yeah.
And I could be totally wrong here. If I remember correctly, whether I read this in a Beach Bum book or I saw it somewhere else, is that originally it wasn't a Planter's Punch, and as they started sort of promoting the Planter's Punch, then they started slapping that label onto it, because it was like a huge cocktail in like post-prohibition.
And arguably the best cocktail.
I actually do think it's the best cocktail.
I'm with you on that, for sure.
Depends on how you make it. We'll see. We'll see how you do.
Exactly. All right, why don't we start with Myers? All right, so we've poured out both the old Myers and the new Myers, and I didn't record it at the time, but it was a pretty rock solid seal when I cracked this open. That's always a good sign, I guess. Altogether, I mean, the bottle, we were commenting earlier, the label is, I mean, besides the colors, the concept and the look and feel of the label is still the same.
Yeah,
cool.
I think it's one of the coolest labels there is.
Well, why don't we get into the 1970s version and give it a smell. Smells like rum. That's good. You know, it's punchier than I would have thought, but it's still relatively mild and mellow compared to like a high ester Jamaican.
It seems pretty generic to me,
Yeah.
in a good way, but just it smells like rum.
Yeah.
It has a sweet, sugary brown sugar. I did cheat a little bit. I did pick this guy up and smell this.
Oh,
I don't know if I'm supposed to.
Sure, we can do that. Why not? Whoa.
I know. This smells off.
It smells chemically, in a way.
It smells almost like if you had just poured this one on its own, it'd be like, is that glass clean properly?
Right, yeah. Yeah, I get this kind of antiseptic thing. Not antiseptic, like maybe ammonia on here.
No, for sure, like cleaning product.
Yeah. Where this smells like a rum.
Yeah, no, you're right. There's a generic rum aroma that whether it's like an aged Bacardi or something from Barbados or even like those Florida Canya aged rums, like that sort of vanilla-y, dark sugar.
Okay, should we actually get in here?
Let's do it.
All right, cheers, man.
Cheers.
Okay. I'm not getting bold tropical fruits in any kind of way, right? Not really getting pineapple. I don't think I'm really getting banana.
I think it's relatively bland and it's also relatively pretty easy to drink.
Yeah.
But there is like a lingering, like even on my lips, like a lingering heat, but it doesn't, I don't find it to be harsh. It feels, I don't want to say watered down. The flavor feels watered down.
Yes.
Maybe not the ABV, but the flavor, it kind of to me is like a generic rum.
Yeah.
In the most generic sense.
What do they say on here? Dark and mellow. There is a kind of mellow quality.
It is mellow.
Yeah.
It feels mellow.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of actually a perfect way of describing it.
I have a prediction it's going to be better than I would assume it's better than the new one.
I don't know. We'll see. Why don't we get into it? Well, the first thing I noticed right away is there's more of a mouthfeel, the viscosity. This has some of that mellow quality as well. I don't think they're too far off in terms of taste.
It's mellow and generic.
Yeah.
But I don't get dark rum.
No. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Like even Karuba or those like Goslings, which is not Jamaican rum, but like those rums that they advertise themselves as dark, robust, dark rums because they have lots of stuff in them.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have that either.
Having gone back to the 70s, definitely thinner, lighter, waterier. In terms of notes, I am kind of perceiving a little bit of like baking spice there. I don't know if it's like an allspice or cinnamon, and that kind of general kind of brown sugar-esque kind of thing.
I'm telling you, like just back and forth now, this one is so much more pleasant.
The 70s?
The aroma.
Yeah, the aroma.
So much more.
Yeah. I don't think either one of us is in love with it. I think that's clear. We're not wowed by it. Would I have liked it to have been something different? Sure, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I spent $300. Like, yeah, of course. But given what I tasted, I'm also like, yeah, okay. I see it, and I see a bit of a through line here. There's a clear difference in that mouthfeel.
Yeah, but being a Jamaican rum, I don't, blindfold me, would not have known. Yeah, and I mean, after all, it's the world famous Myers' rum.
Myers is rum.
Myers is rum.
That's all video unto itself.
Yeah. There's a whole video on how to say it.
Yeah. Okay, we are here with the Appleton Dark Deluxe, and obviously they don't still make that rum, but the closest equivalent that we have is Karuba, also made by Ray and Nephew. Now, worth calling out, the Karuba is 40% ABV versus the Dark Deluxe, which is 43. We don't know a lot about Karuba, let alone the Dark Deluxe.
There's nothing to know about Karuba, whether there's going to be more of it in the future, or you can't even talk to anyone about Campari about it.
All right, let's get into smelling this sucker. This smells more like I'm getting a little bit of bitter caramel.
Yeah, I get raisins as well.
Oh,
There's a mild like pungency, but it's not the typical Jamaican rum pungency.
No.
There's like a cooked, it's like a cooked food.
Ooh, yeah.
Like almost like a stir fry. Like
oh, stir fry. That sounds good. I was gonna say cooked down, condensed like leafy greens. Why don't we smell the Karuba, I guess?
my old friend.
I don't know, they're kind of similar? Am I tripping?
They're kind of similar.
Yeah. I get that raisin note that you called out.
Yeah, and not that cooked down, almost like vegetal pungency. But I'm surprised how lacking on aroma the Karuba is for what I would expect it to be.
For what it does in cocktails and all that too, right?
Yeah, there's a. I don't want to say the word funky because that's
Right.
synonymous with something else, but there's a funkiness to this. I get like soy sauce.
Ooh, yeah, there's a umami kind of thing.
Yes, beef and broccoli.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. This maybe feels a little bit more, a word that I've been trying to use more of, and I'm probably maybe going to use it incorrectly, it's a little more austere.
Okay,
Am I using that right?
explain yourself.
I don't know. I don't know if I even know what the word means.
I mean, I kind of do from like a political and economic method, but not from the tasting of rum.
Austere, like it's a little more
Go.
refined, a little
I don't
bit
know if that's what
more.
austere means.
Where's my phone? Severe or strict in manner, attitude, or appearance.
So you were wrong. So what?
I don't know what I'm like. Well, in
What
that.
other? Did you think it was audacious?
Okay, here I'm gonna try to salvage that. This smells.
You have to cut that. You have to cut it.
It's drier. It's a little bit more. I won't use the word severe because that's part of the definition.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more sparse.
Okay. Maybe you're on. Maybe you were right.
Karuba feels a little bit more. Rich is not the right word either here, but.
Can I help you with like what you should just say? Drier.
Drier. Yes, there you go. Thank you. Yes.
The word that we all use.
Yes.
You don't have to dig too deep. Going back to the first thing of that that umami soy sauce to me, that has that salty, dry quality as opposed to the caramely sweet.
I got it now.
You got it now?
I got the aroma. It's beef jerky.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, beef jerky.
I think beef and broccoli was better. I think it's more of like in austere beef and broccoli.
Yes. Okay, let's actually give this a taste. Cheers, man.
I went very light there just in case it was poison.
Dark chocolate. Getting a lot of dark chocolate.
It's hard for me to get past that aroma. I'm tasting the beef jerkiness of it.
There's definitely that for sure.
And like mentally for me, it's such a block because I don't really want.
You don't want your rum to taste like beef jerky?
Yeah, I don't really want my rum to taste like beef jerky.
Like a slight savory umami thing there.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. There's flavors that maybe sort of almost kind of maybe evoke, you would think it would evoke richness, like a little bit of chocolate, a little caramel, but it is relatively kind of, it never gets to that richness state, I feel like, because it's austere.
Yeah, it's austere.
Yeah.
It's exactly that.
Yeah.
It's unusual. It's unusual from anything else I've had.
Yeah.
Can't really describe it. I would not tell you this is Jamaican rum.
No, sure.
Not at all.
Yeah. But that's the big, not the big takeaway here, but in general, no country is a monolith, no country's rum is a monolith, and that's, we know that to be the case, obviously, right? But we often will kind of pigeonhole all of Jamaican rum to be a certain kind of tropical fruit bomb.
Like a banana pineapple thing when it's often not.
Exactly, yeah.
Cheers. Viscosity.
Yeah. It's coffee, it's a little fruit.
It's very mild.
Yeah.
For the expectation. I've tried it neat before, but I just don't remember it being so like mid.
Yeah.
There's no complexity.
Yeah, okay, that's one way of saying that, yeah.
It's more austere.
I don't know necessarily for either one of these I'd go out of my way to want to drink them neat. Like I'm not like, oh yeah, I'm really craving these flavors. I think this is a fun kind of, occasionally like a fun little palate exercise, to get these kind of taste sensations that I don't normally get in my rums. sure, but I don't think I'm necessarily gonna crave those flavors and want a pour. So what we're gonna do is make Planters Punches with the 70s Myers and the Appleton Dark Deluxe. All right, so we've got our Planters Punch here. Okay, let's start off with the old Myers.
Sure.
Yeah, the 70s. Cheers.
It's solid.
Yeah.
I think if I stirred one of these, I'd think it's good.
Yeah, and I'd be like, oh, that's a Planters Punch.
The baking spice notes come
through a little bit. Yeah. I like that I am able to pick out the rum a little bit, you know? It's not that it's just a kind of so balanced that you're not really able to parse out the rum. You get it, but it's not a big crash of rummy flavor or anything like that.
My ideal Planters Punch, it's basically, you're taking, to me, the spec of a daiquiri, is how I make it, but you're adding more rum.
Right.
So instead of like 2 ounces of the spirit, I add an extra ounce, 3 ounces of rum. So then you're getting, you know, ideally more flavor from the rum holding up for the dilution, because lots of ice, so that you can sip over longer periods of time. This to me though feels like, oh, this probably won't be nearly as good in 5 or 10 minutes.
Oh, I could see that.
You know, because it's gonna be more diluted, and we had that problem when we first tried it. It like felt a little diluted.
Yeah.
So for that, like, it's not really probably long-term gonna hold up, but on its own right now, I think it's good.
Yeah. All right, let's switch over to the new one. All right, here we go.
Cheers.
Cheers. So there's a difference.
Yeah. Is it drier? Like
It's limier.
It is a little bit more tart. I like the older one better.
Yeah.
Quite a bit better.
The rum seems to be getting lost a little bit in this mix.
And I think more of the bitterness from that rum comes through. The older one, it's I'll finish this and I'll enjoy it. And this one, thinking like,
yeah,
the dive bar Planters Punch.
Yes, there you go.
You know.
This now, in hindsight, going back to it, feels more rummy. Maybe it did before too, but now it more so even does. Yeah, definitely all day, every day. I'd rather drink this.
There's a tiny, like, orange peel note too, like a chocolate orange peel. There's more character here.
Yes, character is a great word. Yeah.
And there's none in this one. So
I don't know. You're right now, chocolate and orange.
I think that's turning out to be a good buy.
Yes, I think so. I get there's a flavor in my Planters Punches that I really like, and this is a great example because doesn't actually have this ingredient, but it's evoking it still, and that's black tea. It's really evoking black tea without actually having any like black tea or black tea syrup or anything like that.
Yeah, that's
and
funny
I really
you say
get
that.
Yeah.
Because there's an astringency to it, and there are a lot of great Planters Punch recipes that call for tea.
Yeah, totally. All right, so we are here with the Appleton Dark Deluxe and the Karuba Planters Punches, and I'm really excited.
Let's go.
Let's go. Cheers.
Cheers.
Whoa.
Unmistakable flavor. Ooh, I don't think I like that at all. I don't know if I don't know if there's a redeeming quality to that meatiness that I get.
Yeah, I was gonna say that meatiness is very turned up a lot more in the cocktail, which I'm a little surprised. It takes a little getting used to, but it is pretty intense up front.
Could it be bad? Could it be that's the result of
the 50 years of sitting on the shelf?
Yeah.
Maybe. Hey folks, editor Arminder here, and Derek's onto something. There's probably a good chance that this rum has developed some off flavors over the last 5 decades. There could be a number of different reasons. Potentially, given the sheer amount of caramel coloring here, some of that additive over those 50 years could have degraded and created some off flavors, that umami soy sauce kind of note. And the other thing I realized is that looking at some of the earlier footage of this bottle, I realized that the fill level wasn't quite where ideally it should be, like in terms of where liquid was. It was kind of a little lower than maybe usual. That's just kind of me kind of putting that on the rum. I don't know definitively, but potentially with a slightly lower fill level meant that there had been some evaporation, some oxidization, which can obviously create some off for different flavors, if you will. All of which to kind of explain that, yeah, there's probably a good chance that Appleton didn't want to put out a rum that tasted like soy sauce, and more so that those 50 years led to this rum tasting like what it is now, given its conditions of how it was stored. All right, let's hand it off back to those two knuckleheads so you can watch the rest of the video.
I don't send drinks back. but I don't know. I might ask about, hey, is there something? Was this like in the dishwasher or something?
It's strong on the umami and strong on that beef jerky flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because now we have lengthened it out.
Yeah.
You know,
but weirdly, we've amplified the flavor.
I know.
Yes.
But I do think in the last round, the Myers is that baking spice and some of those chocolatey orange things that I didn't really pick up from being flat through tasting neat came through.
Yeah, good point.
It's why the Planter's Punch next to the daiquiri is like the best thing to explore rums, because you can do it through a longer cocktail that has ice. Yeah. So you have a little more time to let it evolve. But
yeah, and to your point, maybe in a few minutes with some dilution, it might get a little better.
It's not happening.
Why don't we move over to the Karuba? Yeah, come on.
The Karuba is so much better than the new Myers's.
Yes, oh yeah, 100%. Yeah,
like it's so much better.
Yeah,
it is one of those rums like on its own. You're like, how is this gonna taste in the cocktail?
It just works, man. The alchemy of it.
Less overall flavor, so I think you're picking up the lime more.
Yeah,
but it's nice and pleasant. I think though. I think that the Myers's from the 70s is my favorite.
It's probably of the four.
Yeah,
that's the one to go with. Why don't we actually bring out the Myers from the 70s and compare? Now, it's been sitting for a little bit, so there's some dilution happening here. But even then, the flavors here are the flavors I want in my Planter's Punch.
I know. It's very good.
Yeah, that tea flavor that I want is here.
There's astringency, but there's also like the orange peel note.
Yes.
There's that chocolatey. There's the baking spice. It is like a little bit flat, where I just wish that, I mean, we're out of time, but like put that in a daiquiri.
All right.
Like just like a simple daiquiri that's not going to be diluted. It's very good.
The Karuba is kind of one note. I'm not getting a lot of dynamic range. Good enough, but it's fairly one note.
It needs another rum in here. Like it needs split with something else.
Yeah. So obviously this was 70s Myers, but my understanding is I think it's the Myers from either the 60s or the 50s where it was higher in ABV, 46, 47% or something like that. Very intrigued by that now. I'm sure it's a lot more than $300. I haven't seen one on the market, but if it is, I gotta imagine it's over $500 potentially, just given ABV.
I guess it's my turn.
Yeah, I think so, buddy.
The results here make me like a little bit happy and warm inside, besides just the rum we're drinking, because it's the coolest bottle. Yeah. And we've talked about, we like the Appleton look. Sure. It's very 70s.
Yeah.
But the Myers is like classic. Yeah. That could be from the 70s. It also could be from the 40s for the look of it.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
And it's cooler than the new one.
100%.
And it makes me feel better about the fact that this was such a popular rum. It made the Planter's Punch so much more famous.
Right.
And there's like a reason behind it, and it's not because what we have today is so good. Right. It's because the way it used to be was so good.
100%. Yeah. This was super cool and really, really fun. Well, that's that for this video. Derek, thank you so much for coming and hanging out here and drinking these rums with me. If you aren't already, you should be checking out Derek's videos over at Make and Drink. Give him a subscribe, give him a follow, give him a like, all that kind of stuff.
Thank you for like including me in this, because I don't have these rums.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really on my radar. And now I feel like me and so many other people are gonna have the burden of finding more vintage rare rums to try.
Exactly. Well, there you go, folks. Thanks so much for watching. Catch y'all next time. Bye.